Welcome back to Ration Nerd, everybody. Today, it is time to check yourself. We have a Czech Republic dinner, and we also have the supplement pack to go with that. So I'm kind of hangry. It's dinner time, so we are definitely going to get into these two guys. I've had this supplement pack before. Didn't love it last time I had it. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I'll love it this time. As I always say, with these type of things, well, shit happens. So we're going to crack into these. We are going to try to have a really good time with these Czech rations. But first, before we get started, if you appreciate what I'm doing here on this channel, do me a big favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, talk to me in the chat. Every interaction for the channel helps me out. I greatly appreciate you guys. Anyhow, so before we get into dinner, let's crack into this supplement pack. Even though I have a great idea what is in here, maybe you did not see that video and you don't know. So let's get in here and figure it out. All right, we have a pack of crisp breads. Ooh, crisp bread fitness. I mean, I'm not really sure what part about crisp breads and fitness go together, but we will work it out. We have the tiny little can of tuna. That's not exciting me, but you know how it goes. We have here instant fruit drink. That's banging. I like fruit drink. You like fruit drink. We like fruit drink. And we have an itty bitty teeny tiny chocolate bar. That's super cute. Love me some itty bitty teeny tiny chocolate bars. That's pretty cool. I don't remember this being in the last supplement pack I had, although I could completely be wrong. I am getting older, you know, memory's starting to go a little bit. So we have a nice little pack of matches in there with some green tips to match the packaging. How do you like that? That's pretty cool. Hey, we got even more stuff. We have a hygienic napkin. That makes it sound kind of feminine. We have a water purification tablet right here. That's always nice. Then you have this wooden tongue depressor of a spoon, which I've had before in a Latvian ration that I actually did a video on, but I'm not posting it to the channel because, God, I did a horrible job on that video. But I have used one of these tongue depressors before, and it's just pretty depressing. In fact, that tongue depressor was right over here in the cup o' spoons. And we have a, well, it's a napkin. Nothing special about it, nothing great about it. It's a napkin. You know what you can do with it. And then we have another pack of crisp bread for your fitness. Oh, wait. And there's a toothpick in there. That's pretty cool. And we have a little Ziploc bag we could use for whatever. Now let's get into this BDP D5, which is your dinner menu number 5. Let's see what we got for dinner. Alright, looks like we have our ration heater right off the bat. That's pretty cool. And we have another one of these junky tongue depressors. That's depressing. And we have another toothpick, which is cool. Another sanitary napkin, also pretty cool. Another napkin in general, which is nice. And then you have your FRH. There's another one of these FRHs that is glued right in the middle. I guess they want that thing to stay put, but we'll get into that in a moment. And then we have a sleeve, which is pretty awesome. All right, and then we have this dark biscuit, which is coming in at 24 grams. I have not had one of these before that I'm aware of. It feels kind of like a granola bar. We'll get into this dark biscuit here in just a moment and see what we've got. We've got an Earl Grey tea bag. That's nice. We have even more biscuits. This is crisp bread graham. That's interesting. I have not seen that. I don't think it's going to be like a graham biscuit like I'm thinking, because it just has rice flour, wheat, whole wheat flour, rye. Maybe, probably not. And another pack of crisp bread graham, 35 grams. That's a whole lot of biscuits. We have an instant pea soup. That's very interesting. Not sure if I'm real excited about that, but instant pea soup. We have a pack of chewing gum, which is nice. And we have an isotonic drink. Does not list the flavor on there. We're just going to have to mix it up and find out what it is. Then we have our main, chili con carne. Maybe not the most interesting main, but it should be pretty decent. Chili's kind of Well, maybe kind of universal. We shall see. That is a 340 gram portion. That's pretty hefty, a decent sized meal. We have a pack of salt. And we have 2 packs of sugar. Pretty awesome. I'm glad I put the supplement pack with this meal because I'm pretty damn hungry. So I'm going to get all this out on a tray and I'll be right back. All right, and that is looking pretty good. The first thing we are going to do, absolutely, is get this chili heating up in this flameless ration heater. Eastern European countries generally have great ration heaters, so I have no fear that this meal is going to get nice and hot, which is always a bonus. What's nice is that this is in English as well as several other languages, and there's a fill line on the bag, which is always really helpful when you're like me and you overwater the crap out of every single ration heater. Get that chili tucked down in there. Do we want to heat anything else up? No, we definitely don't want to heat that tuna up. That would be a hot mess, literally a hot mess. Well, we got that heating pad nice and saturated, so we are going to get a rock or something and lean that. Oh, we forgot the sleeve. Can't forget the sleeve. All right, so we'll get this tea rocking along. We have 2 cold drinks to break into, which is a whole lot of fun. Sorry, guys, I'm a little discombobulated this evening. It was a really long day at work, let me tell you what. I really wanted to get this review done so I could have it out early for the Sunday release. So I'm running a little behind, not necessarily behind schedule, just like behind brain power. So if I babble or like mispronounce every other word, you know why. Oh, look at that. It's raw sugar, not too shabby. So we're definitely going to have a nice sweet cup of Earl Grey. So we have this pea soup. We've got about 250 mils of water, which is what it calls for here on the packaging. So we're going to give this pea soup a day in court. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about pea soup. I like peas, so we're just gonna give it a try. I'm not a big fan of soups that just kind of make a broth, although I feel like this will probably be a lot thicker than just a standard broth. At least one would hope. Maybe it's got some crazy pea magic I'm not 100% sure of. We're gonna get this nice and mixed up and then set this off to the side to rehydrate. It definitely doesn't look sexy when you're mixing it up. That's just like a big clumpy mess. Like I have a feeling like it might have been better just to like put this in something and shake the hell out of it, like put it in a water bottle. And it's not really practical, but ooh. It looks like old school pistachio pudding when you first mix it up. That's slightly disturbing. And you know what the worst part is? These spoons, they still taste like wood. If you're old enough and remember when you'd go to the doctor and they would stick that nasty tongue depressor in your mouth, what that tasted like, it just tasted like a piece of wood. Or if you're still eating popsicles and you get down to the bottom and you're just trying to like get the last little bit off, you get that like popsicle stick taste. That's exactly what this imparts to your food. That's why we're not using this. We'll bring it on home here and use a US spoon because you can actually eat some soup with this thing. Probably the best thing inside of a US ration is the spoon. It's just ugly. We're just gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that there, let it be ugly for a minute. And we've got 2 cold drinks, which I'm pretty excited about. It's pretty hot where Ration Nerd lives today, so I am definitely looking forward to an isotonic beverage as well as an instant fruit drink. Start out with that isotonic. And that definitely smells like lemon. And then we've got fruit drink. That definitely has real sugar in it. That's awesome. Alright, I guess we can start snacking on this tuna. Giggle, giggle. If you have not seen the last review I did of the Czech supplement pack, you should definitely check that out. I am not a big fan of this tuna, but we're going to give it a shot one more time. Actually, I'm lying to you. I will probably try this as many times as I get a Czech ration. That's just how I am. I'm just going to keep on trying it. But I can tell you, I was not a big fan of the tuna last time. Don't think anything is going to change on the tuna front. And that looks like a decent tuna. It certainly looks a lot better than I remember it looking. But it is just very plain tuna in water. So it's certainly not going to be flavorful like the tuna packed in oil. It's going to be pretty plain. It's definitely a great protein boost for a soldier in the field, but as far as being appetizing and edible, well, not so much. Let's get these crisp bread fitness out onto the tray. Well, I'm so glad I got these fitness crisp breads, because otherwise this meal would probably make me fat. And those are definitely some dusty buggers. I really like these things. They're great transporters of items to your face hole. And they have a really strange styrofoam texture that for some reason I really like it. But this whole dusty thing they come with is just a little disturbing sometimes. And now we have the graham crisp breads. I'm interested to see. Well, there's a color difference. Not much of a texture difference, but they're certainly lighter in appearance. A little busted up, but that's okay. Give one of those a bite. You know what that does not taste like? Graham cracker in any way, shape, or form. I'm not sure what graham is in the Czech Republic, but I know what it's not. It's not like our graham crackers here in the United States. No clue why they called that graham. It's just another crisp bread. I'm going to check out these dark biscuits. Ooh. Oh. Look at that. It is actually one of these crisp breads covered in chocolate. That's very interesting. Like, that's so interesting, I almost just like took a bite of it. Forgot I was filming and just wanted to just smash it. So that is really cool. I can't wait to get a bite of that. That is definitely a really interesting item. Like, I'm having a hard time like keeping my dirty face hole off of that. And we got this little baby chocolate bar, which is nice. Look at that. It's so cute. It's just a cute little guy. All right, so while we are waiting for the main to heat up, let's try a little bit of this tuna. We'll go with the darker crisp bread first. Now this does definitely look like a higher quality tuna than I remember being in the last supplement pack, but we're gonna give it a bite. That's not super hateful. It's not great. It has a really extremely fishy follow-up, which is odd for such a light colored tuna. In general, when you get lighter colored tuna like this, it doesn't have that super fishy follow-up. But for whatever reason, this just has a really, really like stanky, fishy aftertaste. I'm gonna try to salt it a little bit, maybe to kill a little bit of that, or maybe accentuate it, who knows. This is exactly how I remember feeling about the tuna I got in the last supplement pack. It's just really fishy, and I don't get it because it's a nice bright white tuna, if it's tuna, but it is really fishy, and I just don't get it. Like, as many rations as I am into this channel now, and as many bites of seafood as I have had just doing this hobby, and it's certainly not my favorite thing on the planet, I'm starting to kind of get accustomed to some of it, like tuna, I guess. But this is just exceptionally fishy, and I just can't explain how you get tuna that's that color and it's that fishy. It's just really strange. Oh, still, that fishy aftertaste gets me every time. Let's try it on one of the graham crisp breads, which I just don't get why they call these graham, but there's that fishy disaster right there. Oh, let me get a bite of this guy. Oh, God. I don't know what it is about the tuna from the Czech Republic. It is so fishy. It's not even funny. I don't understand how tuna that is that white in appearance has that super stanky, like fish market, like in the summertime kind of smell taste combo. It's just so weird. All right, well, let's try out this pea soup, which really wasn't ringing any bells for me. It still definitely looks like, even more so now that it's thickened up, kind of looks like a old pistachio pudding. Definitely a little bit on the odd side. That's okay though. I do like the flavor of peas, so we are going to give that green gelatinous goop a little try. That's not the best. I mean, that's just kind of warm, grainy. Like the texture is very gritty. Now, if it were cold outside, I might be a bit more motivated to eat this, but this really is not that great. I mean, it doesn't even have an outstanding flavor of peas. It's just kind of warm and gritty, mildly seasoned, and just a very mild pea flavor, which is kind of odd for something that's really should consist mostly of peas. This certainly would not be a go-to item for me. It's really not that flavorful. There's not much in it, so there's really not a whole lot going on in the flavor or the texture department. So it's really just something warm. So if it were cold outside, this would be pretty decent, nice and thick and kind of hearty. I guess you could add a bunch of salt to it, which I guess we should try to do. I was going to try to save the salt for the main, but let's see if we can rescue some pea soup by adding some salt. Oddly enough, there's no pepper in the ration. No, and now it just tastes exact same flavor, just saltier. It didn't really make the flavor any more complex. It didn't add anything to it other than just ridiculously salty now. I don't know, we could try to dunk a crisp bread in there. Might be good for crisp bread dunking. You know what? I'm glad I did that. That absolutely pairs amazing with the crisp bread. Almost oddly so. Like the crisp bread being a really mild flavor, as well as the pea soup being really mild. You wouldn't think that the two would go together. But oddly enough, the flavor of the crisp bread just does something for the pea soup to make it really edible. It's really strange. Aside from bolstering the calories in the ration, maybe that's why they give you so much crisp bread, just because it'll help you force other things down. I definitely recommend that you experiment with the items that are in your ration. Try different combinations of items together, because you could literally rescue a big portion of your calorie content just by mixing some of the items together, making them palatable, or even in this case, go from completely plain and boring to actually kind of enjoyable. While we're giving that main a few more minutes to warm up for us, let's give that Earl Grey a try. That actually has a citrus smell to it. That's a little crazy. That's actually like no Earl Grey I've ever had. And that is a really good cup of Earl Grey tea. Actually has a really nice citrus undertone to it that I'm not accustomed to. It's actually really tasty, especially with a little bit of sugar added. Let's try this isotonic, which definitely smelled like lemon. Whew. That tastes like lemon floor cleaner smells. I mean, it is a very interesting, very unnatural taste. Kind of reminds you of a kid's drink. Let's get that really unnatural lemon floor cleaner flavor. That's the only way I can explain it. It literally tastes the way that lemon floor cleaner smells. Like it or not, that's exactly what that is like. Let's check out this fruit drink. Oh, that is absolutely amazing. I think I mixed that up a little strong. I'm gonna add just a little bit more water to it. This is pretty amazing. This has a peach and pineapple and mango flavor to it all at the same time. This is a really good fruit drink. Really excellent, very refreshing. In complete stark contrast to the isotonic, which completely tastes like something you'd find in like the kids section. This is absolutely amazing. Alright, so it's time to rescue this main out of this heater and see what the Czech Republic knows about chili con carne. Which I'm really hoping that they know something about chili, because they know absolutely nothing about canned tuna. So let's get this 340 grams of chili out onto the tray. It smells pretty basic, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And I'll tell you what, that flameless ration heater did definitely let me down this time. I'm not accustomed to the Eastern European rations letting me down on the ration heater, but that one kind of sucked it. Looks pretty interesting. That's a pretty decent portion. There's still a whole bunch stuck in the bag I gotta try to rescue out of here. Alright, so let's check out this mildly warm chili. That's definitely going to affect the flavor, so it really does suck that that flameless ration heater went all United States on me. So we have some very small pieces of carrots, which is odd for chili. We have corn, pinto beans. We do have a few kidney beans floating around in there. And we have some what looks like meat. And definitely in a tomato-based sauce. There are some really small flakes of onions floating around in here. I guess there's nothing for it. We're just going to need to get a taste of it. See what the Czech Republic knows about chili. Take a look at that. I just wish it was hotter. That's not too bad. I mean, it's really, it's definitely a few grades above what you would find in a US MRE as far as our chili goes. It does have a lot more depth of flavor with having a couple different types of beans, some corn roaming around in there. The flavor's a lot more complex. I think this would have been a whole lot better if it would have got warmer, but the FRH crapped out on me and really didn't give me anything but a kind of warm meal. Honestly wish they would have just given you an Esbit stove. They definitely would have been better off. My opinion of this chili would have really changed if this chili was at a much higher temperature, but I try to give everything the review it deserves, and if your ration heater craps out, well, temperature definitely affects the taste. So if this is what a Czech soldier has to eat, and this is as hot as his meal is going to get, well, definitely kind of sucks. This is definitely not a meal you want to have if you have acid reflux. This would probably mess you up pretty good. It's definitely got a acidic tomato base to it, which is fine for me, but like I said, if you have any kind of acid reflux, this is certainly not the main for you. There's definitely a lot going on here. You can taste the different types of beans as well as the corn, which gives it a nice little bit of texture. There are some larger pieces of onion when you really start to dig into this meal. It's actually a pretty decent chili. The more I eat of it, the more I like it, and it's losing temperature the more I talk, so it must be pretty decent if it's losing temperature and I'm still really enjoying it. You know, honestly, the meat in here is just kind of an afterthought as far as the taste profile goes. You don't even really know it's there. You really get a prevalent taste of the tomato base, all the different beans that are in here, and the onions, which is really nice. Definitely got to try some of this chili on a crisp bread. Crisp breads were just made for picking up anything and everything in your ration and just shoveling it into your face. And that's actually really good. I really like crisp breads because they're super versatile. In this kind of bland flavor that they have, they really lend themselves well to sticking just about anything on them, whether it's sweet or savory. Like, you could just as easily put jam or peanut butter on one of these as you could a mouthful of chili, and it just works. Crisp breads are a really nice versatile item in a ration. One thing that the crisp breads are really good at is cutting down the acidity of this chili, which is really nice. These are great ration items. A great way to bolster the calories with something that's kind of utilitarian in purpose. I mean, whether it's dessert, whether it's dinner, doesn't matter. Crisp bread is on the case. You know, I think the thing I like most about this chili is there's a lot of different ingredients going on in here. You have your meat. You have at least 3 different type of beans that I've been able to identify so far. Like a small dark red kidney bean, a light kidney bean, these larger pintos, corn, lots of onion flakes in here. It's actually just a really well-balanced main. A lot of different textures, some separate flavors going on, which is always really nice. A little on the acidic side, with the tomato base, but that's to be expected with something like chili. This just has a much more complex range of flavor and texture than what I'm accustomed to in US MRE chili. That just basically has like the one type of bean and maybe some weird meat stuff floating around in there. Now, to be fair to the US chili, if you can get that nuclear hot, it's actually pretty good. When it's cold, it's horrible. This chili isn't even up to the temperature that I'm sure it's intended to be eaten, and this is still pretty damn good. Whereas if this was a retort pouch of US MRE chili, I'd be chucking it in the trash by now. Clean that palate up a little bit with some of this Earl Grey. This fruit drink, though, that's like mouth sex. That's great. That stuff is absolutely amazeballs. So as I was eating the chili, I was sitting here thinking to myself, you know, as much crisp bread as they give out with a ration, it was kind of ballsy of them to take yet another piece of crisp bread and just cover it in chocolate and think that would be okay. I personally like crisp bread because I don't eat it that often. But if I was a soldier and I was getting 2 packs of that with every meal and then 2 additional packs in the supplement pack, I don't think I'd want a piece of crisp bread covered in chocolate. I mean, I want it. But if you got 2 packs of these with almost every meal, you'd probably look at this and just kind of roll your eyes like, oh great, another piece of crisp bread. But let's give this a try. This definitely has that light styrofoam texture, just like the crisp bread, but it is absolutely covered in what looks like some nice dark chocolate. That's the craziest thing. That's like the Christmas chocolate. Hang on, I need another bite of that, and then I'll explain to you what I mean by the Christmas chocolate. Let me just make sure there's not something wrong with my face. That's crazy. This is definitely the Christmas chocolate. This has a spicy nutmeg and ginger kind of flavor to it, which is really interesting, and it absolutely reminds me of Christmas. I know it's odd to say that, but I just try to explain things exactly the way they come to my mind, so that way maybe you guys can get an idea of exactly what I'm tasting. But this literally is like the Christmas styrofoam chocolate covered cookie. It has a little bit of a clove aftertaste, like way, way, way on the end of the taste spectrum, but definitely has like a spice and nutmeg hint to it right in the beginning, along with the chocolate and the crispiness of the crisp bread. This is a really interesting, really yummy piece of chocolate covered crisp bread. And we'll take it over to this nice piece of dark chocolate, which I'm definitely excited about. That is a really good, very sweet piece of dark chocolate. I would say that that is a 60% cocoa or cacao, however you want to say it. That is really good. A little on the sweet side for me, but as far as dark chocolate goes, that's a quality, if not very small, piece of dark chocolate. Definitely a nice treat in the supplement pack to help offset that stanky tuna. But that is a really, really sexy little piece of dark chocolate. I'm just going to go ahead and finish that off. This chocolate covered crisp bread though, Christmas. It's the Christmas chocolate. This is the best. That really does have an amazing aftertaste. It's so crazy. Like, it's June, but in my mouth, it's December. It's crazy. Santa says he wants you bitches to leave him some chocolate covered crisp breads. Hell with all them chocolate chip cookies. And since I have chocolatey fingers, it is probably a great time to check out one of these hygiene wipes. That feels pretty stout. Really stretchy, but pretty strong. Stronger than your standard moist napkin. Ooh, that smells like a steaky grandma. That's not a really, that smells not all that nice. I mean, it's doing a good job of cleaning my hands, but yeah, it definitely smells like a smelly grandma. That's not nice. And everybody knows what a smelly grandma smells like. Don't sit there and pretend like you don't. Everybody's like walk past like stinky grandma and be like, ooh, stinky grandma. That's what that hand towel smells like, so it's kind of pretty nasty. This meal was definitely a mixed bag. Obviously finished the chili, but I really don't want any more of the tuna. The smell of it is actually just kind of getting to me at this point. I don't even want to smell it anymore. That's just some really stanky, fishy tuna. Not appreciated. Crisp breads are great, but without anything to go with them, they're just really plain. Just something to chew on and crunch on. That's basically it. And their texture leaves a little bit to be desired when you're eating them by themselves. So with the supplement pack included, I had 4 packs of crisp bread. I didn't even finish 2 packs. So the crisp breads are great items if you have things to go with them. The drinks, well, the fruit punch is amazing. This isotonic beverage, like if I had any kids in my house, I would just go give it to them because they would love it. Me, as an adult with adult taste buds, no, that's nasty. Like literally smells like something I should be cleaning my floor with, not something I should be putting back into my face hole. Earl Grey tea, absolutely excellent. Well, everyone, thank you for joining me here on Ration Yard for this Czech Republic BDP menu D5 and PPD supplement pack. This was definitely some mixed feelings about not only the items in the dinner but also in the supplement pack. Definitely some things I would have changed about these. However, it was certainly a lot of fun getting into them. It was even more fun sharing it with you guys, and you know how it goes. You absolutely know how it goes. If you find something cooler than this ration, these 2 guys right here to eat, you know what to do. You absolutely know what to do. Eat them up.